Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your author Mark inviting you for a very interesting YouTube discussion. Um, Today's topic we're going to talk about that it kind of it's kind of close to my heart, and I am very interested in this topic. But I want to share this topic with my audience as well, and I would like to you opinion. What do you really think about this? Now, the topic of today's discussion will be sub minimum wage for sub minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities. Now, I personally thought that those sub minimum wage workshops were eliminated because of the passage of the anti discrimination laws here in America for people with disabilities. And, you know, such legislation as the Anti Discrimination Act for people with disabilities and such legislation as the Americans with Disabilities Act, when those two um, those two um, legislations passed, I thought that this this type of sub minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities were eliminated. Now, most of you know that I'm a big critic of the media and the news people in general. But, however, I'm going to have to give some props to the Christian Science Monitor, because I would say that they did an excellent job of bringing to light this topic of the sub minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities. Now, what those workshops are is they're basically a manufacturing plant where they're either shredding documents or they're doing whatever else, like, they make certain things. But however, what's wrong with this is that those those sub minimum wage workshops, what's wrong with it, and I do not support this in any shape or form. Matter of fact, I do find it despicable as far as I'm concerned, because those people, those sub minimum wage workshops do hire people with disabilities, and they pay them they pay them money, but they pay them below the minimum wage standard. For example, if if your let's assume if your minimum wage is 7.25 an hour, those those sub minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities, they can get away by paying them, for example, 5.50. Now, this is, may I say that this is not right, and to be honest with you, because of such legislations as the Americans with Disabilities Act and the anti-discrimination laws that were passed, that's supposed to help people with disabilities to compete in the open job market. I thought that those kind of sub minimum wage workshops were eliminated. Now, if some of you may agree with this, some of you may not agree with this, but in my opinion, we are living in. I mean, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Those workshops were created when America was, when America did not have the technology like we have today. But with today's technology, such as the Drag and Dictate, such platforms as YouTube, uh, such platforms as Facebook, and information technology, and all these wonderful things that we do have today in today's 21st century, I think those workshops are no longer necessary, because we have certain tools and certain ways of working in my opinion, those kind of workshops, those kind of sub minimum wage workshops are basically obsolete because nowadays, in my opinion, a person with a disability should be treated as a normal person in as being part of our society. And to be honest with you, that person with a disability nowadays, because we have so many good tools and good you know, platforms like YouTube, Facebook, information technology, all these wonderful things, that a person with a disability should be paid a fair wage, just like everyone else. Uh, now the thing is also that we have, although yes, that the Americans with Disabilities Act, I feel, and all those laws, yes, they're good to help people with disabilities to get jobs and all this wonderful things, but I don't think they have gone far enough. Now, this is the way I feel about it. This is my opinion, and in my opinion, that I feel that those sub minimum wage um, workshops do exploit and use the people with disabilities as a source of cheap labor. Now the other thing is that now now are these sub minimum wage workshops fair and honest and a good thing for uh, for people with disabilities? Absolutely not, because what you have to understand, whether you like this or not, people with disabilities are part of our society. Because look, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Any of us can become disabled at any time. I mean, you can get hurt on the job, etc., etc. But just because you have a disability, in my opinion, that does not mean that you can that that you have to give up. That does not mean that you have to give up on your life, and you can still be a a productive member of society. Now, why am I so upset with these sub minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities? Because to be honest with you, and most of you know that I'm a critic of the media, but in this case, I would say that the Christian Science Monitor that put this YouTube video up did an excellent job, and they brought a topic to the forefront, and it opened a topic for discussion that, in my opinion, that does need to be addressed. Because to be honest with you, I don't know how they do it in other countries, but in my opinion, we live in United States of America, and we have the greatest technology, the greatest. We were the people who put a man on the moon. But what gets me upset is that that we still have to have these called indentured servitude kind of workshops, the sub minimum wage workshops, in a country like the United States, where we have great technology, where we have very advanced technology, where I think that a person with a disability can be a great contributor to our society here in America in a positive, a good and positive way. Now, one more thing. Now, I've talked with my friend about this. He knows who he is, and me and him had a very extensive discussion about this because I did show him that YouTube video that investigation that Science Monitor, the Christian Science Monitor ran, and the poor guy my friend was shocked because he couldn't even believe that in the 21st century that we still have those kind of sub minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities. And I do as a person with a disability myself, I do have a problem with these sub minimum wage workshops because like and here's the problem with it, because say for example your state has a 725 or 750 minimum wage, those sub-minimum wage workshops can pay those workers say 650 an hour. Now, is that fair? Is that right? Absolutely not. That's why I am making comments on. That's why I'm sitting here and making this particular video, because this now that's why I'm making this particular video and commenting on what the Christian Science Monitor is doing, because may I say that they did a very good job on this particular investigation. Now, if we had more journalists like those people, then those kind of topics have to be addressed and they have to come to light. Now, what else? When I talked with my friend about it, we had a very extensive discussion about this article. By the way, I am going to link it to my YouTube video. Underneath, I'm going to put it in a comment section, and I'm going to put it in the description so you guys can look at it and form your own opinion. And I would like to hear from you guys to actually I want to know what you guys really think about it. Now, to be honest with you, I've had a talk with my friend about this, and like I said, he was shocked about it. Now, we talked about why is this happening, and he said because the corp and I, after discussing this with him a little bit, he said that is because most of the corporations today are just concerned about profits. And I kind of understand this. I do kind of understand that this mentality that all they're concerned about is profit. And I understand that most of these corporations are not basically, how can I put this, charity cases. They're not there to be a charity sort of for people with disabilities. I get that. But I just feel that if a person with a disability has the necessary talent and the necessary skills, that they should be able to compete in the regular job market. But if the if those corporations kind of blocked, because I would say they block their way, block the way for people with disabilities to compete in the regular job market, then I would feel that there's something wrong with it. And I do feel that those kind of sub-minimum wage jobs, sub-minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities should not exist, because we have the necessary technology where a person, I mean, let's have a discussion about those sub-minimum wage workshops for people with disabilities. Those kind of workshops were created in order for people with disabilities to have jobs, but those those kind of subminimum wage workshops are kind of obsolete because nowadays, now this is the 21st century where we have such things as Facebook, such as Dragon Naturally Speaking, such software, and such things where a person with a disability can, and we have the technology where a person with a disability can be a productive member of society, and they can work in an open job market. Now, like I said, do I support those subminimum wage workshops for people with disabilities? In this case, absolutely not. Because, I mean, like I said, because what we have, we have the technology and all these wonderful things where, in my opinion, a person with a disability, if he has the desire and the capability and the strength, then he should be able to compete fairly in the job market. Plus, when it comes to the open job market, in my opinion, a person, whether a person has a disability or not, when you work in an open job market like that, you can work for a comparative wage, and then you can even feel better, and you can even be a very productive member. A person with a disability can be a very productive member of society. Now, if you like my videos, please consider subscribing and give me a thumbs up. And I would like your opinion. I'm gonna share this particular discussion with you, and I'm also going to link the particular video that I was discussing in this particular YouTube video. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in my next video.